So guys, like, subscribe, and share, right? Thank you.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
103.5 FM at DSN.
Nafana, Nawa, Namonso. Angels.
Mama Kosedu Agwaptal Maria.
Owetri Meseni Kenke Monso.
Ekene Maria Jitel na Grace Osebru Anonyeli. Eden God's next tip Moronine. Ojas in God's more forgive Jesu.
Maria Jason Nenke Chubu. Rebara Ninja Yo. Kita Namano. Amen.
Nadu Odibowani Kosebru.
Koye Kisiku.
Ekene Maria Jitel na Grace Osebru Anonyeli. Eden God's next tip Moronine. Ojas in God's more forgive Jesu.
Maria Jason Nenke Chubu. Rebara Ninja Yo. Kita Namano. Amen.
Okwe Melaro.
Owetri
Ekene Maria Egypt na Gracia Osebru Anonyeli Eden God's next Tiboronine Ojas in God's Buma forgive Jesu.
Maria Jason Nenke Chubu. Rebara Ninja Yo. Kita Namano. Amen.
Yabalanya yo only Kechuku Jaso. Ayo. Aina yogi Ochukwu Kerinye Gracia Inimodiai. Karibundi Anja Buteluzama. Where Mali will have no Christian Wadi. Sister Afia Nubia. Where Batano Stone and Beaten Oya. Stena Christi Divinai. Amen. Otito the Rena Nawana Monso. Otito the Rena Nawana Monso. Otito the Rena Nawana Monso. Pablo Bindini Nequerano Galaga. Pablo Bifaz Liken and Dokwa.
Amen.
Onye nwanyi nọnyere ụlọ ka Chineke ji ike niile gọzie ụlọ nna na nwa na mmụọ nsọ.
Amen.
Ekpere abịala ga-esite na nkwado ndị Love Bite Foods and Beverages Limited Nnobi, ndị na-alụpụta Love Bite Bread nọ na nọmba 1 Nwosu Mmaduka Close, Umuru Nnobi, 081-4982-8254.
Ebona the FM, 24 hours of informative, educative, and entertainment programs. Can't stop, won't stop. On Ebona the 103.5 FM. Listen to news updates on Ebona the 103.5 FM immediately after Angeles 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebona the FM breaks the news with actualities.
I believe that if we are hoping for a new Nigeria,
You can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM.
Good evening and welcome to Bona the 103.5 FM News Update. Today, Monday, the 4th day of September 2023, and the time is 4 minutes past the hour of 6. Martin Ipanshukweke is my name. The headlines. Father, 2 sons killed in building collapse in Anambra. NLC declares support for Governor Oti over civil service reform. Mixed reaction in Anambra as Soludo rolls out subsidy palliative. Abia government demolishes 2-story building with structural defect. Russian official, 280,000 sign up for contract military service this year. Now, details. Father, 2 sons killed in building collapse in Anambra. A man identified as Chizoba Anyefuna and his two sons have lost their lives following the collapse of their one-story building with penthouse at Ebu Umuemen Enem Otolo Nnewi in Nnewi North local government area of Anambra State. A relation of the man who was also trapped in the building, which was still under construction and whose name was not immediately given, was rescued and rushed to St. Felix Hospital in Nnewi, where he is receiving treatment. Officials of the Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, and Transition Committee Chairman of Nnewi North Local Government Area, Mr. Chris Obiora, have visited the scene. Manual laborers were already at the scene on rescue mission as the excavator brought to rescue the victims broke down at the site. Addressing journalists after the dead bodies were brought out from the debris, the Anambra State Chairman of COREN, Engineer Victor Meju, attributed the incident to poor foundation, poor concrete mixture, poor quality of materials, poor wearing cost capacity, non-conformity to standard, and non-approval from relevant regulatory authorities, describing it as an avoidable tragedy. Meju directed the condoning of the site, adding that the owner of the building, Mr. Chukunafo Anamaju, will be invited for questioning to aid in investigation. The Transition Committee Chairman of Nnewi North Local Government Area, Obiora, urged the people to always make use of certified engineers and other relevant personnel in the building sector, noting that monitoring teams were also important to ensure the standards were strictly adhered to. NLC declares support for Governor Oti over civil service reform. The leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) Abia State chapter has declared its support for Governor-elect Oti-led government over the ongoing workers' verification exercise and other reforms being carried out in the state. In a statement jointly signed by the state chairman Nweke Pascal Iheme and the state secretary Emma Alozie and made available to journalists in Umuahia, NLC said the governor for demonstrating a commitment to reposition the civil service. The NLC also applauded the governor's pledge to clear the backlog of salary and pension arrears before the end of the year. The statement read, His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti has demonstrated his commitment to reposition other civil service and the welfare of the workers and the pensioners, a commitment which he assured will be achieved before the end of the year. The NLC, however, expressed concern over the invitation of many ministries, department agencies to appear for verification on the same day, a situation they said has brought avoidable hitches and frustration on the side of the workers and appealed that the number should be reduced. The labor union therefore called on the government to extend the deadline for the verification exercise while appealing that the ministries, departments, and agencies should appear on separate days so that workers wouldn't be subjected to avoidable suffering. Mixed reaction in Anambra as Soludo rolls out subsidy palliative. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukuma Soludo has announced incentives to cushion the effect of the hardship caused by the removal of fuel subsidy. Last week, shortly after President Bola Tinubu announced the disbursement of 5 billion naira to each of the 36 states as palliatives to cushion the harsh effect of the removal of subsidy from fuel, Governor Chukuma Soludo of Anambra State quickly rolled out what he has been described as an all-encompassing strategy to help ameliorate the plight of citizens of the state. Soludo, in a statement he personally signed, said Anambra State government will be distributing rice to over 300,000 households in the coming weeks across the 326 wards in Anambra. The following highly vulnerable persons are exempted from all forms of taxation: levies, hawkers, wheelbarrow and truck pushers, vulcanizers, artisans, Okada drivers, petty traders with capital of less than 100,000 naira, etc. The IGR payment of all transporters, keke, minibus, etc. are hereby reduced by 20% with effect from September 1, 2023. Soludo said the mantra of his party, All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA, is to be your brothers and sisters keeper, and this is no better time to exhibit it than now. In the meantime, and over the remaining 4 months of the year, September to December 2023, as well as within the context of our 2023 budget framework, we are rolling out a few immediate and medium-term measures, the governor said. After the announcement by Governor Soludo, there have been commendation from diverse quarters, just as a few voices have risen to ask for the clarification on the source of the palliatives to avoid Soludo taking the shine of President Bola Tinubu, who is the originator and the provider of the palliatives. Abia government demolishes two-story building with structural defect. The Abia state government at the weekend demolished a story building in Umuahia, the state capital, in a proactive move to save lives and property. A rapid response team comprising the ministries of lands and housing, power and public utilities, work, and the Umuahia Capital Development Authority, the Nigerian Police Force, the Abia State Fire Service, the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company, the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, and the Nigerian Society of Engineers were on the ground to ensure that the structurally defective building was safely brought down. The demolition of the building located at number 5 Akanu Street, opposite FCMB, near Government House, Umuahia, followed the alarm raised by occupants who hurriedly evacuated the building of their own accord after visible defects were noticed on the structure, sandwiched between two other buildings. Addressing newsmen shortly after the demolition exercise, the Commissioner for Lands and Housing, Chaka Chukwumerije, pointed out that the primary objective of the exercise was to save lives. Also speaking, the Commissioner for Power and the Public Utilities, Mr. Ikechukwu Monde, who affirmed that the present administration in the state believes in due process. Thank God that no life was lost, even as he enjoined the builders to always engage the services of professionals. Murik tax Imo governor on denial of palliatives to Muslims. Imo State Muslim indigents have been left out of the distribution of subsidy palliatives in the template rolled out by the Imo State government on Thursday, August 31st, 2023. Meanwhile, an Islamic human rights organization, the Muslim Rights Concern, Murik, has described the move as unfair, unjust, discriminatory, and injurious to healthy democratic practice. This was disclosed in a press release issued on Saturday, 2nd September 2023, by the Executive Director of Murik, Professor Ishak Akintola. Murik said the government of Imo State on Thursday, 31st August 2023, announced the mode of distribution of palliatives to citizens of the state according to the plan. 65,000 bags of rice would be shared among 34 different groups. Surprisingly, however, whereas the Imo State chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria was conspicuously listed as one of the 34 groups, with its name coming up as beneficiary number 5, the name of Imo Muslim Council, IMC, was also conspicuously missing on the list. The same people who rushed to accuse Muslims in power over perceived discrimination against Christians have demonstrated worse play for segregation, stigmatization, and exclusivity. Those who come to equity must come with clean hands. The Imo State government has failed in this regard, he stated. Now we move over to the foreign scene. Russian officials, 280,000 signed up for contract military service this year. Some 280,000 people have signed up so far this year for professional service with Russia's military. The deputy chair of the Russian Security Council, former President Dmitry Medvedev, said on Sunday, visiting Russia's Far East. Medvedev said he was meeting local officials to work on efforts to beef up the armed forces. According to the Ministry of Defense, since January 1st, about 280,000 people have been accepted into the ranks of the armed forces on a contract basis, including reservists. State news agency TASS quoted Medvedev as saying, last year, Russia announced a plan to expand its combat personnel by more than 30% to 1.5 million, an ambitious task made harder by its heavy but undisclosed casualties in Moscow's war against Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin ordered a partial mobilization of 300,000 reservists in September 2022, promoting hundreds of thousands of others to flee Russia to avoid being sent to fight. Putin has said there is no need for any further mobilization. This is where we draw the curtain on news update on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. But before we leave, a quick look at the headlines. Father, 2 sons killed in building collapse in Anambra. NLC declares support for Governor Oti over civil service reform. Mixed reaction in Anambra as Soludo rolls out subsidy palliative. Abia government demolishes two-story building with structural defect. Russia official. 280,000 sign up for contract military service this year. You just listened to news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. News produced and read by Martin Ifanshuku Ekezie. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
Listen to news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM immediately after Angeles, 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebona FM breaks the news with actualities.
I believe that if we are hoping for a new Nigeria,
you can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM. How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonade FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be. Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanshuku Ekezie, number the force, every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebona 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds in your face. On Ebona the corner 24/7, 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen, tighten your seatbelt as we take you on this smooth ride. Let's go! It's the morning drive on 103.5 FM, keeping your morning engaging as we take you through the smoothest ride on radio.
From 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Get your morning inspired, be informed. Let's interact only on the morning drive.